Good afternoon. You must be my 2 o'clock. Scott.
No. My name's Dustin.
Oh, I apologize. It says here you're Scott Story.
No, my name's Dustin Munson. Scott Story is a fictional character that I made up to manipulate the emotions of large groups of people through the art of professional wrestling.
Character, interesting. Well, Dustin, it's nice to meet you. I am Dr. Craig. Because I'm Cray Cray.
What?
I said I'm Dr. Crane.
Oh. I thought you said something else.
What brought about this character? How did you come up with it?
I decided I want to be a professional wrestler, so I researched where to get trained, saved up my money, went to a couple different places, and when the time came that I was ready, I needed to have a character, because I couldn't just wrestle as Dustin. Dustin's not that interesting. So I used the name Scott, which is my middle name, and I came up with Story because I thought it sounded cool. Yeah, I guess he just became whatever I needed him to be. If I was at a show and I needed to be the villain, I wore a bunch of scarves and a beanie in the middle of June, was loud and obnoxious, acted like a smug, raging dickhead, and that pissed people off a lot, so I'd say that worked out well. If I was on the show and I needed to be a good guy, well, it didn't take long for me to realize that approach doesn't work, with the scarves and acting like a dickhead, so I had to adapt and change, and then I landed on the horror gimmick, if you will. I used a lot of horror and punk imagery, and that seemed more adapted to me.
Do you often find it to be easier to be a bad guy than to be a good guy?
Well, in wrestling, I think so. It seems to be a lot easier to get people to hate you than it is to get them to love you.
Do you often find people don't find Dustin to be interesting?
I mean, Dustin's just an ordinary guy, so probably not. I mean, nothing special.
Do you think that Scott's Story is bleeding into your real life?
I guess it's sometimes easier to be talkative because I'm used to being animated and loud when I'm wrestling, so my comfort level in that regard maybe rose, where normally I think I'm pretty to myself unless I'm with friends or family that I'm comfortable with. The character himself, I mean, I guess I'd like to think that I'm not a raging dickhead to people in everyday life.
I think that's a good place for us to stop this first session. But I do want to see you again. Thanks for coming and meeting me today, Scott.
My name's Dustin. Scott's Story isn't real.
'Cause it's dragging me